What up, bro? We're 18, back at it again. Welcome to episode 134. Thank you to those watching me for the first time. Hope you liked the video. Go back and watch my other videos. Maybe you found something you like. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, share. Thank you to those who've been with me since the beginning. Appreciate you guys sticking around. Like my videos, watch my videos, all that good stuff. Continue to do so. Hope you enjoyed this video. Like I said, this is episode 134. Today's video is going to be talking about actors who's always played the good guy role in most of their movies, and they decided to go full bad guy. I love when actors have a variety of roles, and these actors particularly are basically known for being the good guy, like pretty much every movie they're in. And it's kind of weird to see them doing anything but playing a good guy. And I love it when you go out of your box and do something different. And these roles they played the villain pretty good, in my opinion. So these are going to be some of the actors that I think played the villain well for doing it for the first time. We're going to start with the great Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise has been in our life as an actor for a long time. His first role was in 1981, Endless Love. He had a minor role. And from then on, he's been basically the good guy in every movie he's played in. Besides Interview with a Vampire, which came out in 1994, he was a vampire, so I don't know if he was a good guy or bad guy. I can't say if he was a villain or not. But Jerry Maguire is a good guy, A Few Good Men, Rain Man, just to name a few movies. But this role, Collateral in 2004, where he played Vincent, a hitman, he was unbelievable. Like, I didn't know what to expect when I went to the movie theater. When I saw this movie, first of all, it's a real good movie. And the way he played this guy was unbelievable. He had scenes where it was a scene where he was in an alley after he had just killed somebody, and he was like playing it like nothing happened.
You killed him? No, I shot him. Bullets in the fall killed him.
And then there was a scene where he took on two guys in the same alley, and he took them both out and killed them with no regards for their life. Like, the role he played, he epitomized like a hitman. He had no emotion. He was very on point with his job. He knew exactly what he had to do. He had Jamie Foxx terrified in this movie. It was pretty much him and Jamie Foxx, like not a buddy cop movie, but it was them back and forth most of the movie. There were some comedic scenes with Jamie Foxx, but it was pretty much a serious movie. And he played the role of the hitman very well, in my opinion. There was a scene where he was in a bar or a nightclub, and he gave this guy one chance to answer a question.
Where did Miles learn music?
I know everything there is to know about Miles.
Then let's have it.
And the guy got it wrong. And you wouldn't think he said he was going to kill him. You had one chance to answer this question correctly, or I'm going to kill you. So the guy answered the question confidently because I guess he knew all about, I can't remember the jazz musician's name or whatever, but he knew about this guy.
He sent Miles to Juilliard School of Music, New York, 1945.
And so he answered the question all confidently, and he just pulled out a gun and shoots him in the head. And he was wrong, and he explained exactly how he got his start, or what the guy got his start.
Tripped out of Juilliard after listening to your tracked down Charlie Parker on 52nd Street, who mentored him for the next 3 years.
He was just cold and calculated, real good villain. And like I said, it was the first time seeing him in a role where he's like truly the bad guy. Because like I said, he's been in movies where he's always the good guy. He's a lovable character. And seeing him playing Vincent in this role alongside Jamie Foxx, I thought it was an excellent change of pace for him. And I don't think that he's been a bad guy in any movie since then that I can remember. Collateral came out in 2004, and I think he's been in the Mission Impossible movies, a couple space movies or whatever, but nothing like quite as violent and evil as Vincent. So that's going to be it for Tom Cruise, my first one. Excellent actor, one of my favorites, top 10 actors of all time. Tom Cruise is a bad guy in Collateral. So the next actor we're going to be talking about is going to be Michael B. Jordan. He's one of the newer actors, I guess you could say. He's been acting for a while, though. His first movie I remember seeing him. It was Hardball in 2001.
She said that she would tell him they asked that I was born later. She said it was okay.
but he was also in The Wire. He was in Fantastic Four, Chronicle in 2012, Fruitvale Station in 2013, and Creed in 2015. But he's never played like a bad character. He's always been like sort of a good guy, close to a good guy, or whatever. Never really bad. And in Black Panther in 2018, he was Eric Killmonger. In my opinion, one of my second favorite Marvel villain behind Thanos. He was unbelievable in this role. The things that he said, the things that he did, and in my opinion, I don't think he was a bad guy per se, because the things that he said equated to like society and what was going on in life and what his shared experiences or whatever. So technically, he wasn't a bad guy in my opinion, but he's a bad guy because he killed people, he murdered people. Like when he robbed the art museum, that whole scene was amazing. He went through all the different art and how it was stolen from black people, whatever. And then he got to the vibranium, and that whole scene was incredible. And he ends up killing the lady that was trying to tell him about the stuff or whatever.
But it's from Wakanda, and it's made out of vibranium.
I thought that scene was unbelievable because it introduced his character, introduced his intellect, and showed what kind of villain he was. There was a scene where he killed his own girlfriends. He thought he loved them, and it's all about the mission in his opinion. And he killed his girlfriend to get to the other guy.
Sorry, Eric.
It's gonna be okay.
So he was very calculated, super smart, one of the best villains, I think. When he did an interview talking about his role as Killmonger, he said he went to a bad place, like it affected him, like outside of the role or whatever, because he went to a dark place in imagining his character and acting him out.
To therapy, you know what I'm saying? I started talking to people, started unpacking a little bit.
And you could tell, like when he fought T'Challa, when he was gonna take over for the challenge to be king or whatever. That whole scene was amazing. The way he beat him up and threw him in the water.
I'm your king.
He's just an amazing villain. I love his interaction with his family or whatever. That whole scene in the throne room was amazing acting.
We're warriors. The world's gonna start over, and this time we're on top.
And then the end of the movie when he's beaten by T'Challa and he's dying and he goes to see the sunset. That whole scene, that was probably the best like acting scene I've seen him do in all the movies that he's been in, because he gives a whole speech about not wanting to be healed and not wanting to be enslaved and all that stuff. He'd rather die like the slaves did before jumping off the ship, because they knew death was better than being in bondage. I thought that whole scene was incredible.
Just bury me in the ocean with my ancestors that jumped from the ships, because they knew death was better than bondage.
He is definitely one of my favorite villains, and that role change was pretty cool because he was doing all these movies where he's the good guy, and to be because he was in Creed in 2015, so everybody knew him as the Rocky type guy, good guy, whatever. And to do this role where he's a bad guy, I thought it was unbelievable. I don't believe he's done any. He was in the second Black Panther as Killmonger again, but only in a small scene. But I don't think he's done any bad guy movies since then, or villain movies since then, because like I said, he said it really got to him playing that role, and he got fully engaged into the character. So Michael B. Jordan definitely played the villain role very well in Black Panther. I enjoy him also. He's one of my favorite actors. Leo DiCaprio has been in our life for a long time too. I already personally remember from Growing Pains, because I loved Growing Pains growing up. It was a good TV show.
So I'm taking 2 pairs of socks and 1 pair of underwear. Mind if I keep the football? Fine, I'll leave the football.
But he's been in a lot of movies, and pretty much every movie he's been in, he's been a good guy. He's never been like a super bad villain or whatever in none of the movies. Titanic 1997, Departed 2006, Inception 2010. Catch Me If You Can. He was a scam artist, but he was a lovable scam artist. You wanted him to win in the end. He was playing a true character, a true story, whatever. So he wasn't per se a bad guy. Yeah, he robbed people, whatever, but he was very a likable character, and you wanted him to succeed, even though he was robbing people or whatever. But in Django, 2012, Django Unchained, starring Jamie Foxx, um, he was unbelievable as Calvin Candie. This is like the first time I like watched the movie and I was like, I fucking hate Leo DiCaprio because he was so good at being a slave owner and being like a scumbag. He wasn't a smart. He was like one of those dumb owners who thought they were smart. So that role was fucking unbelievable. This is the part where he was talking to Django in the woods and he murders a black dude with dogs. And he's just, it's like nothing. It was like nothing to him.
You won't mind me handling this nigga any way I see fit. That Marsha and the bitches send D'Artagnan to nigga heaven. Your boss looks a little green around the gills for a blood sport like nigga fighting.
That epitomized how good an actor he was because you never see him in that portrays that kind of character, which was pretty awesome. If you tell me, I love Django. I love the movie Django overall because it was a real good movie. But seeing him portray that character was pretty crazy. So there was a part also in the movie where they're in his house and they're talking, and he gives a whole thing about how black people are have a part in their brain which is a servant part of their brain. I thought that was a fascinating part of the movie because he truly believed this was true or whatever. And he said if you just not kill a black person, you see the 3 dots in his brain, and that's the part of subservience, being servants or whatever. I thought that was real acted, and you could tell as a character he believed that all that stuff was true.
These 3 dimples exist in the area of the skull most associated with civility.
And then when he finally paid for the he got some money to pay for Hildy, which was Jamie Foxx's girl. The way he acted towards them at the end, trying to get a handshake, he's like, "This shit is not over until you shake my hand." And he ended up getting getting what he deserved because he ended up getting killed.
Honey, a deal ain't done until the 2 parties have shook hands.
You really want me to shake your hand?
I insist.
But his whole like, I guess 15, 20 minutes, maybe 30 minutes in the movie was fascinating. It was just great to see him in a different role other than a good guy. And I truly enjoyed it, even though he's a despicable character. Denzel Washington played the villain in Training Day 2001. He was Alonzo Harris. So Denzel Washington's always been a good guy, pretty much in every movie he's been in. This movie in particular, he plays a cop. At the time when this movie came out, I didn't even know he was a bad guy cop. So I'm thinking about all the movies that he's played a cop in. It was 6 before this movie came out, 13 overall. The 6 movies that he played in as a cop was The Mighty Quinn in 1989, Ricochet in 1991, which is a fantastic movie, Virtuosity in 1995, Fallen in 1998, which is also a great movie, The Siege in 1998, The Bone Conductor in 1999. And the movie he's played after Training Day was Out of Time in 2003, Deja Vu 2006, Inside Man 2006, which I love, Two Guns 2013, The Magnificent Seven 2016, The Little Things 2021, which is also a great movie. So he's always been a good guy in all these cop movies. So I go into this movie thinking he's going to play pretty much the same typical Denzel Washington cop, good guy type movie. I was totally wrong. I knew nothing about this movie. It came out in 2001. Like I said, there was like no big social media presence, so you don't find out a lot about these movies. So I go into this movie thinking he's going to be a good guy, and he's a total bad guy. Like one of the best like bad cop guys I've seen in a lot of movies or whatever. So seeing him as a bad guy is real weird since he literally played an angel in 1996, The Preacher Wife, starring Whitney Houston. So it was totally different to see him in that kind of role. So the movie starts off with him in a coffee shop, and from that point, you get a feeling like it's not going to be the regular Denzel Washington movie. The way he's talking, the way his overall look on everything is like totally like mean spirited or whatever. He's like a real nasty dude in this scene or whatever. But it's real good. The scene is real good.
Since you can't keep your mouth shut long enough for me to read my paper, tell me a story.
So next week, once they leave the coffee shop, they get into the car, and we definitely know it's a totally different thing. They got the rap music playing in the background, comes out, and you see his car. It has the hydraulics and all this stuff. It's a real nice car.
On out.
So what I didn't realize also watching this movie was the whole movie is one day, one training day. I didn't find that out till a while later that the whole movie was supposed to be one day, which is pretty cool. So in the scene where he's in the car, he they end up breaking up these drug dealers trying to rape this little girl, and they get back after that scene. They get back in the car, and he has some weed or whatever, and Denzel tells Hoyt to smoke the weed, and Hoyt was like, no. So this whole car scene is fantastic. First of all, so he gets him to smoke the weed. He pretty much peer pressures him, talking about he can't be part of his team if he can't trust him to smoke weed, and then he twists the whole script and talking about, I didn't tell you to smoke that. It was just the whole scene was pretty good. It was real funny how he got him to smoke the weed and how he peer pressed him. So I love that scene.
What, are you gonna smoke that?
Nope, you are.
So fast forward, we get to the scene where he's at a drug dealer's house. It was like one of the biggest drug dealers in California or whatever. And they goes to seize money or whatever, but nobody knows that they were gonna kill this guy. So he tells Hoyt to shoot him, and he was like, "No, I'm not gonna shoot him." So he pretends to shoot him, bang, whatever, and the guy bang, whatever.
Pow! Boom!
And Denzel's like, "No, shoot him." So he gets the gun, and Denzel kills the dude and watches him die. This whole scene is amazing.
Holy shit!
And Hoyt is sitting there like, "What the fuck just happened?" And then they from this point you can tell that Denzel has everything planned out. So he was like, it's not what you know, it's how you can frame the scene or whatever. So he frames the scene. All the other cops are in on it. They shoot one of their own cops saying that he got shot on coming in the door or whatever.
Do it. Oh, fuck!
And Hoyt is not having it. Hoyt is like freaking out. He's like, I didn't kill this guy.
I didn't shoot him.
Room full of cops said you did.
But I didn't. You did.
And then Denzel's whole attitude changed. Like, what the fuck? And you can see the change in his face. It was like, and then he does his whole monologue where he says, cop shot on scene, he survived by his wife and kids, which is ominous because at the end of the movie, this comes back to in his whole thing when he gets killed at the end of the movie. No spoilers, movie came out in 2001, so it's a 24-year-old movie. So yes, Denzel dies at the end. So
LAPD spokesperson said the officer is survived by his wife and infant child.
That whole scene goes on, and Hoyt was like, I'm not a killer, blah, blah, blah. And Denzel was like, okay. They get through the scene. He punches Dr. Dre for some reason. Dr. Dre is real bad in this movie. He's not a good actor. Snoop Dogg is in this movie too, and Macy Gray. So they had several California rappers and singers in this movie, which is okay, whatever. So fast forward, Denzel sets him up with his Mexican homies or whatever. He gets out of that situation because he saved the girl early in the movie. So they get back to the jungle or whatever, and there's this whole scene. The patrons in the place save Hoyt's life or whatever, let him leave the scene or whatever. And Denzel was like, they was like, he can go. You have to stay.
Hey, go ahead and bounce on me. Get up out of here. We got your back.
And then I'm thinking they're going to stop him or they're going to kill Denzel. And Denzel goes into the whole King Kong thing. It's one of the best scenes in the movie, too. And none of these motherfuckers even stood up to him. He said, King Kong got nothing on me. I got put warrants on all you motherfuckers. This is the best scene in the movie, in my opinion. And they don't do nothing pretty much. He literally punks the whole fucking gang, all of the gang members in this fucking scene or whatever.
You motherfuckers will be playing basketball in Pelican Bay. King Kong ain't got shit on me.
So he gets out, gets the cash. He has to meet the Russians, and he meets the Rush. He tries to meet the Russian. He gets pulled over. He stops at a light, and he gets gunned down by the Russians or whatever. This motherfucker gets out the car and he's still going for the money as he's filled with bullets. And at the end of the movie, the whole thing comes up. Cop dies, survived by his wife and kids or whatever. The same thing that he said to Hoyt in that one scene with the fucking drug dealer.
An LAPD spokesperson said Officer Alonzo Harris was survived by his wife and 4 sons.
This movie was fantastic. I love this movie. And you know what's funny? The funny thing about this movie is, like all the other movies, they all die at the end. So Denzel dies at the end of this movie. Tom Cruise died at the end of Collateral. Leonardo DiCaprio dies in Django. Michael B. Jordan dies in Black Panther. So they all die at the end. I don't think I've seen that in any of their movies where they die. Besides Michael B. Jordan, he died in Fruitvale Station. But that's based off a true story. But Tom Cruise died in The Last Samurai, I think. Or did he? No, he didn't die. But anyway, they all die in the movie. And they're all bad guys, and they do a real good job of being bad guys. And Denzel Washington actually won an Oscar for this portrayal as Alonzo, which is weird because he should have won as Malcolm X. I think it was a payback Oscar, because he was fantastic in Malcolm X. I don't think he won an Oscar for this movie. It's a great movie, and it's different seeing him as a bad guy, but he definitely, I don't know if he should have won an Oscar for this role, even though he played it very well. But that's going to do it for my movie. Let me know any actors that usually play good guys who played bad guys, what those actors are, and what movies they played in. Let me know if you like it. Remember, like, comment, subscribe, share, and all that good stuff. Thank you guys for watching the video. I truly appreciate it. You could have been on anybody else's video and decided to watch mine, so thank you. Have a good one, and I'll get at y'all on the next one.